He's inexperienced and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Thursday, September 22nd. Good morning, Rico.
Hello.
And good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
We got a jam-packed show lined up for you today with tons of giveaways I'm super excited about. So many things to get into. And in fact, around like 6:25, we're going to play Little Kid or Drunk Adult again. It's the return of Little Kid or Drunk Adult. It's around 7:10. We got Black Keys tickets giveaway. Tickets also the giveaways for that of the Arizona Coyotes, who are going to be at the TCC this Sunday, and so much more. We're just gearing up. We're going to make fun of a lot of people today.
Yay.
Let's start off with making fun of Robert Sarver. He is the Phoenix Suns owner currently, and the Phoenix Mercury owner currently. But he is currently looking for a way out. Have you heard about any of this, Rico?
Vaguely. Fill me in.
Okay, so Robert Sarver has been the owner of the Suns for a little bit over 10 years. And when he first bought it from Jerry Colangelo and the dynasty of the Colangelo family, the Phoenix Suns were a staple in the NBA playoffs. They really built up Phoenix and Arizona as massive basketball fans. We just expected a winner in town. Even though they never won a final, it was always exciting to watch the Suns and the talent that the Suns would be able to bring in. Then Robert Sarver bought it, and slowly but surely, everything went to S and it fell apart. And then this Phoenix Suns were the worst team in the league for years. Just getting those number one draft picks, man, because they had the worst record. Over the last couple of years, things turned around. They got Devin Booker. The talent started building up, and now the Suns have been a serious contender, even making it to the NBA Finals and unfortunately losing to the Bucks. Everything looked great. Green pastures, right? Then it came out that Robert Sarver had a bunch of questionable conduct behind the scenes, meaning that he would be abrasive and abusive with his language. He would culturally appropriate in ways that just was borderline racist. And a lot of people consider straight up racist, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this information got out. The NBA investigated, and upon a lot of backlash amongst the league and the representatives of the league, including union heads, they said, "Okay, you need to be punished." So, about a week ago, they handed down a 1-year suspension with a $10 million fine. Now, a $10 million fine to a billionaire is like fining you $10, right? Mm-hmm. It's nothing. So, a lot of people are like, "Nah, you know what? That's really not good enough for what's going on here." The NBA is trying to get away from that slave owner mentality. Okay. Now, this happened with the owner of the Clippers just a few years ago. If you recall that guy, he would say the N-word with the hard R. And almost simultaneously at the same time, cuck out with his players and his wife. So I don't know. The guy.
Tell me more.
I know. I got your attention.
Now I'm awake.
Right. So with that, they got rid of that racist a-hole in the NBA. And now this situation, people were not happy about the punishment that Robert Sarver had. Essentially, he just took a year-long vacation and would make money the entire time. Well, Robert Sarver has announced yesterday that he started the process of selling the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury. Well. Yeah, and it's a move that comes only 8 days after he was suspended by the NBA over the workplace misconduct, including racist speech and hostile behavior towards employees. So Robert Sarver, not only was he a terrible franchise owner, but turns out he was a terrible boss and possibly a terrible human being, right? So the reason why I bring this up is not only is it kind of historic and it's a big move, they're saying that the Suns are valued at $2.5 billion.
Jiminy.
I know. It's like a fifth of Twitter. But with that, not only is he walking away, but he's walking away with indignity. He's basically blaming the reason why he's selling the Suns and the Mercury on cancel culture.
Oh.
Yes. All right. So this is where it gets humorous to me. and ridiculous. Okay, so this is the statement that Sarver made Wednesday, saying selling the team is the best course of action, although he initially hoped that he would be able to keep control of the franchises, pointing to his record that he claims paints a dramatically different picture of who he is and what he stands for. Now, I know he's not talking about the win-loss record because that's still, like 300 losses to 150 wins. That's not good enough for me.
Aside from that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, my personal record, I haven't got caught sleeping with employees too much. Yeah. But then he released this statement. He said, but in our current unforgiving climate, it has become painfully clear that it's no longer possible for whatever good I have done or could still do is outweighed by things I have said in the past, like saying the N-word with the hard R. Oh, you can't own an NBA team with a bunch of black people and have slave owner mentality. Sorry.
Wow.
I got a little excited.
Is that how he sounded?
Yeah, that's exactly how he sounded.
Okay.
In fact, actually, I'm not like an impressionist, but there are a couple that I've really worked hard and honed my craft on. And
I
that was
declare.
Yeah, I do declare. I'm sorry.
I would apologize under the auspices of my misfortunes. However,
that's pretty much the way I when I read this statement, that's what I'm hearing. But he said, for those reasons, I'm in the beginning of the process of seeking buyers for the Suns and Mercury, and good riddance, honestly.
Right.
And for him to cry that it's because of the league, the unions, and the fans that are saying, hey, no, you don't get a second chance to be called out on being a racist team owner in a majority black league. I'm sorry. It's not cancel culture at this point. It's just that you don't deserve that right. And to be to reap the profits of it as well. That's something that they're trying to separate from. And I don't even think he's American. I think he's Australian too. So good day, bitch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See you down under.
Yeah. So that's the top story. We'll tap more into it a little bit later in the podcast broadcast. We got your morning moron coming up after the latest from Giovanni and the Hired Guns, but we'll kick things off with a little System of a Down. Here's Chop Suey on Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know, all right, we're live here on the podcast broadcast. Good day, bitch, is my line of the day. I was feeling pretty good about that.
That was good.
You ever say something so confidently, you're like, ooh, you kind of like your own buttocks clenches a little bit, like, that was good.
Give yourself a boner. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I don't really give myself a boner.
Enthusiasm boners all around.
Yes. All right. People are just being mean. I got made fun of, started crying today. All right. That's a text from my daughter. I gotta go in and super dad it. I don't know who's being mean, but
Papa Bear.
I gotta go beat up a bunch of fucking 16-year-olds today. That's gonna be fun.
Can I come with?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I just like
waiting for this.
Honestly, with your training and everything, I do feel like
how many can I take on at once?
Yeah, I feel like a mafia boss when I'm walking around with you, man. Like when we go to concerts and stuff, and you're right, like by my side. Yeah, it's like, come on, I dare you to fuck with me. I got Muscles McGee over here, ready to go. So
my Gucci chain and my sunglasses on.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fantastic.
My kid just started kindergarten. I'm just waiting for him to come in. Oh, he was mean to me. I was like, can I beat up a 6-year-old?
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
You can't legally beat up a 6-year-old, but you can go into their face and tell them to fuck off.
Verbally chastise them.
Yeah. Destroy them verbally.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Segura's got that bit of like, can't do anything officially, but I'm gonna teach him all the bad cuss words to get him in trouble at home.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure. Yeah. Well, actually, my daughter never cursed growing up. She was kind of like, it was the opposite because I never censored myself.
Mm-hmm.
It was a do as I say, not as I do kind of mentality, but also I wanted her to know all this stuff. I didn't censor myself because I wanted her vocabulary to have it in the back of her head so she could essentially have a playground arsenal. Like, so when someone's in her face and, they start talking smack, that she could verbally, destroy them and drop all the curse words that she can. So I loaded her up on those. And it wasn't until she's high school that those things started to slip. But before that, I'd never heard her curse. I didn't hear her curse until she was like 16.
Oh my God, my 12-year-old's the worst.
Well, it's a boy.
Yeah.
That's different though. Yeah. So different mentality. But yeah, I was basically just getting her ready for the playground. And she's done pretty good, but apparently not today. So yeah. All right. We are gonna get into a lot of stuff here on the podcast broadcast today. As teased on the air, we'll talk about the top 5 most expensive TV shows. That's kind of safe content. Also have 5 homemade hacks you could do to create a fleshlight. So you don't have to go buy a fleshlight. We actually had an F My Life today of a guy named Landon who emailed me and said that he ordered essential oil diffuser and a fleshlight. Now the essential oil diffuser was for his mom for her birthday, and he didn't check the box. She opened it up in front of the entire family for her birthday, and it was the fleshlight, not the essential oil diffuser, which is an amazing F My Life. But if he would have listened to this, if his mom's birthday was 2 weeks from now and he's listened to the guide to the do-it-yourself fleshlights, maybe he wouldn't have put himself in this predicament. So it's a pretty fascinating ways that you could create a fleshlight.
You're not saving that for the beef tip?
No, it's too meaty of a beef tip.
Yeah.
I do have a beef tip, and it's answering the question, can you eat your Crocs in a survival situation? Have you seen this question online?
No.
People ask this question because apparently Crocs are made of non-toxic material. So a reporter from Vice did the Lord's work and investigated. So I'll give you those results and a beef tip to go along
I
with
would
it.
starve to death. You'll never catch me in Crocs.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, what shoes would you eat? What kind of shoes you normally wear?
Like Docs and Vans.
Yeah, man.
I'm
You're not
screwed.
going to be able to digest those. But, I mean,
No,
they're leather.
no, Docs are vegan.
Really?
Yeah, I think that they're like supposed to be like super safe, and so maybe.
Yeah, but
Wait.
they're not cage free, so no.
Right.
No.
And aren't they leather?
Yeah.
Then
But-
they're not
oh,
vegan.
Well, if they're vegan leather, it just means plastic.
Right.
That's usually what that means. So never mind.
Right.
Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm
No,
dying.
I mean, you could technically eat leather, I think. I mean, it's animal hide.
Yeah.
If I have to go to a bar one day and explain how I drank my own pee and ate Crocs to be there.
You're definitely not getting laid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
That is not a good pickup line, Rico. Do not use that.
Maybe in Florida, but nowhere else.
You're right.
So we've asked a lot of running questions today. We'll play a bit that we recorded earlier. What's the craziest thing you've seen while driving? JJ just wrote a manifesto I want to share with you real
Oh my
quick.
God.
He said, so I don't know if I told you this driving story or not, but about a year ago, driving down 22nd Street past Margarita Bay, I see on the sidewalk either an impromptu slam dance or a whirling diversions joined at the hands. Then they tumble right into the street like a tumbleweed directly in front of my ride. This kid takes off running, leaving an old man laying there. I shout, "You get back here or I'm going to shoot you." Kid flips me off and starts to slow hop like a basketball player. All right. And just like that, I U-turn I U-turn, go pick up the old man, take him home, help with the police report. He was mugged.
Mm.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's not fun.
Yeah, and JJ was traumatized because of this. But I mean, at first, when I'm reading this, JJ, I'm like, you're kind of in the wrong, dude. What are you doing? Threatening to shoot kids. But yeah, he was mugged. So
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah,
that's a crazy story.
And I've come up on a highway fatality too that we were good Samaritans at, and while we're there, just watching the driver hanging upside down dead.
Yeah,
That was a bummer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I actually have something I posted on.
Speaking of which.
Segue.
Yeah, it's a great segue. I posted this on my Beef Vegan page yesterday. This is a story that I came across. There was a dead body on a beach that got people all concerned,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, follow link. All right, sorry. So look at this. You guys want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
There you go.
Middle school me is going crazy.
Yeah. All right. So this is on a Thai beach, right? So it caused mass panic. All right.
Oof.
So this is the body that caused mass panic on the beach until they found out what it actually was.
A fleshlight.
No, yes,
Oh.
it was. And they say they read this with sex dolls becoming increasingly realistic. It was only a matter of time for this happen. So yes, it was a sex doll that they found on the beach. Hold on a second. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to the Beef Vegan Presents. It's the podcast broadcast. And on the podcast broadcast right now, we're looking at what looked like a dead body on a beach that caused mass panic before police identified what it really was. What it was a naked sex doll. All right. And it was the bottom half of a naked woman on the beach with no head. The head and the arms were covered, or the arms were covered. The head was missing. And it did look super realistic. So people just thought it was a mangled body on the beach. Imagine finding that.
It looks super real.
Yeah. Now, they state that they believe that somebody threw the sex doll into like the river and then it washed into the ocean. So it was either like a jilted lover or somebody who, just was done with their relationship with this sex doll. Maybe the sex doll in their mind cheated on them. But either way, I said in the comment there, one man's trash is a lonely man's treasure. Don't worry. I don't think police had to confiscate this. Somebody volunteered their services to get rid of this sex doll that they found on the beach. Because again, it doesn't look too bad for being washed up. I hope somebody says that about me eventually.
I've been with a lot of washed up women here in Tucson. Down at the buffet.
Right. All right. So we're going to be breaking down the 5 most expensive TV shows of all time. Of course, Amazon's Ring of Power is number one. Ring of Fire? No, it's not Ring of Fire. Ring of Power.
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power is number one on the list. We'll break down how expensive that is and how much more expensive it is than any other show next on the podcast broadcast. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA, or join us online, youtube.com/BeefVegan, or our Facebook pages, Rock 102.1 Beef Vegan, Beef Vegan Presents. You know the name of the show. Let's go. Clear.
I love the thought process of like how that came to be. The sex doll on the beach. I'm like, in my mind, I see like a guy that's like totally like in his down and out phase. He's like, oh, I got a sex doll, and he wanted to have sex on the beach all his life and finally did it. And he was drunk and regretted everything.
Yeah.
He's like, just throw it in the ocean. Forget it. Nobody's going to know.
The shame. I need to get rid of this thing immediately. What if it was, obviously a sex doll is designed to simulate sex, right? With a real life woman. What if this person bought the sex doll to simulate murder on a real life woman instead of the sex, right?
Now we're getting Netflixy.
There we go.
Yeah, that's where the plot thickens, right?
Or just got the sex doll to simulate the real sex, and he's just like, she just lays there. This.
Right. Yeah. I didn't order I didn't order the married sex doll.
That's the cheaper version.
Yeah.
God, married.
You don't have to pay no alimony.
That's true. That's very true. All right. I'm just rearranging my commercials here. We're going to be back here on talking about the top 5. So who do you think, before I break down this list, do you guys have any guesses as to what shows might pop up on this list for the most expensive TV shows of all time?
I mean, that one you mentioned is already notorious for being the most expensive one. I mean, they spent like I don't know how many billions. You have to figure.
No, it wasn't even.
On what?
No, so for
Rings of Power.
Yeah, for Amazon's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, it cost them $715 million. But a majority of that money, a large sum, over 50%, was just to buy the rights from the Tolkien family. Right. So that was to begin with.
Pricey.
So they were already like $400 million in the hole before they started production. If you're like watch the series, you're looking at it and being like, this doesn't seem like it's $100 million an episode. You know what I mean? Like,
right, but they got to factor in what it costs to get the rights.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the per episode cost is pretty outrageous as well. So we'll break that down. I thought it was pretty interesting. And there was a new website that I found this on. And I introduced this to Rico and Wierdo, and I'll introduce it to Powers as well to get them caught up. But it's called Feedly, and essentially it's a website that curates all the different content that any of your interests, and it's free. And I'll show you this in a little bit. I think it's pretty awesome, and it's going to make my job a little easier. So that's always good. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. So the question is, what are the 5 most expensive television shows of all time? I'm talking per episode cost here and overall cost. As I was saying on the podcast broadcast, Amazon's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is the most expensive. And initially it cost $715 million just for this first season, but a majority of that was for just getting the rights from the Tolkien family to be able to do Lord of the Rings. Maybe they had to buy it off of Peter Jackson as well. I don't know. Right. But after that, then they have to break down what it costs per episode. Well, according to VPN, each episode had a budget price tag of $60 million. Yeah, $60 million per episode, making Lord of the Rings of Power the most expensive TV production ever so far.
Right.
I can't even imagine it getting more expensive than that. If there's 8 episodes or 10 episodes, that's another $600 million. I understand Jeff Bezos doesn't pay taxes, but even that's a lot for him,
Yeah.
All right, now for the second highest budget per episode, there was a 5-way tie.
5-way.
Yes. And it's all Disney Plus shows.
Really?
Of course.
I thought Game of Thrones was going to be in there.
Game of Thrones is in there, but not number 2.
Okay.
See, most of which are focused on Marvel Universe characters and storylines. So these 5 shows each had a budget of $25 million per episode, which if you were wondering why Disney only does 6 episode seasons,
This is why.
there you go.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. So they were either it was either Marvel Studios or Lucasfilm. So they include Hawkeye, which that was a waste of money. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, waste of money. WandaVision, good investment.
Yep.
Loki, good investment. Good investment. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi. So each of those series had a budget of $25 million per episode. The catering on those sets, amazing. Right?
Best cheese ever.
Yes, best cheese ever. It's like gold-plated cheese.
I don't know. 3 out of 5 of those I didn't even watch. They wasted their money.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Now, up third is HBO's popular Game of Thrones prequel series, House of Dragons. Yes. Now, House of Dragons has a budget of $20 million per episode. All right. Now, I know, Rico, you've been catching up on House of Dragons, right?
Finally caught up, yeah.
Okay. And then, Weirdo, have you been watching it at all?
Have all the episodes aired yet?
No.
No, yeah. I wait for that and then I binge that in a weekend.
Okay.
I am a binger.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not a big fan, so I haven't seen any of them, but $20 million an episode. It was a smash hit premiere across HBO Max and HBO.
Yeah.
So that's good news for them. All right. And as for some of the other shows, the original Game of Thrones also made the list with season 8 of the series, tied for 4th, the 4th most expensive TV show at a budget of $15 million. Also, number 4 was the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian and The Witcher and Watchmen on HBO. And finally, the 5th most expensive television show of all time happened in 2016 to today. And it's Netflix's The Crown. You're talking about something that doesn't have special effects whatsoever, just a bunch of old inbred people drinking tea. $13 million an episode.
That was them paying the actors. Because there was a lot of solid actors in that show.
Yeah. I
Sounds like money laundering to me.
It does.
Going towards the royal family.
Right. All right. We're going to keep this conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, asking our running question, what's the craziest thing you ever seen while driving? And when we come back, I'm going to give you the top 5 homemade ways you can make a fleshlight for all my lonely friends out there. I see you. Clear. I actually turned off my mics because I'm like, oh. All right. All right. So yeah, that was some educational stuff there.
Do the 5 most expensive fleshlights on the market.
Yeah.
That's what number 1 is.
Yeah, that's an investigative
It's a Vice article.
Yeah, I'll get into that.
Do you remember how crazy it was when the Friends cast all got $1 million per episode?
Yes.
And they're like, oh my God, $7 million. Now we're like $60 million. Whatever.
Yeah.
Inflation.
No, I know. I mean, they're still rich because of it. All that syndication money.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Earlier this morning, we asked that question. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen while driving? Rico and Weirdo both had some excellent examples of crazy things they seen while driving. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. Oh, yes. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents Rock 102.1 KFMA. 600 KFMA is the phone number, 600-5362. If you could answer this question for us, what's the craziest thing you've seen while driving? Right? We all witness a lot of crazy things while we're in our car. And this question was asked on the Whisper app. And it was kind of phrased like, what's the craziest thing they've witnessed while driving? And craziest thing they've seen other people do while driving, right? So one person wrote, I saw a woman driving and breastfeeding at the same time, which might be multitasking, but say the airbag gets deployed.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, man, that baby is donezo, right? Say this chick was doing her makeup and looking in the mirror with one hand and texting with the other. And she was also speeding at 50 in a 15 max parking lot. A+ multitasking. No, she didn't crash. So what's the craziest thing you've seen while driving, Weirdo?
Used to live on the west side, and there'd be little barrio dogs, and watch 2 chihuahuas like chase a coyote out, like protecting the neighborhood.
Yes, those barrio dogs, you don't mess with them. In fact, actually, here's a fun fact. If you just moved to Tucson, if you're trying to ask yourself, am I in the ghetto? Because it's really difficult to tell if you're in the hood or not in Tucson, because, every other block is nice and not nice.
Right.
But it's not necessarily hood. You're in the hood when you see a bunch of random stray dogs just running around. That's hood life right there. You're like, oh, time to lock my doors and roll up my windows. Rico, what have you seen while driving? That's the craziest thing.
Yeah, once I readjust my eyesight after hitting every single pothole in Tucson.
Yeah.
I usually like people watching other cars, and I think it's funny when you see absurd stuff in there. Like I think one time I saw somebody eating Chinese food with chopsticks.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
All
that's
right.
pretty intense.
That is super intense.
And then like a legit whole rotisserie chicken. It's like they just couldn't wait.
Oh, you saw me do that, huh? All right, let's go to the phones here. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
This is Floyd the Butcher.
All right, Floyd the Butcher. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen while driving?
I saw an a-hole driving down Grant one time in one of those brand new Teslas reading a book.
Ah, yes. It was
Oh.
driving itself, though.
Right?
Yeah, he was probably reading.
Yeah, it was driving itself, and he was reading a book, and I was like, what a level.
Yeah.
What a show off.
Yeah, seriously, super entitled and be like, oh, I'm a Tesla driver. It drives itself, and I'm educating myself. Shut up, nerd.
He's one of those people from California that sniffs their own farts because it's the right thing to do.
Thanks for the call, Floyd. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
600 KFMA, 600-5362. It's a running question that we have. I'll reveal more of these great responses in the podcast broadcast later on. But coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents, we're going to do another round of F My Life, and we're going to get weird with Weirdo. All that more in store. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA.
Hardcore.
You want more? Sure. Here live on the podcast broadcast, and it's time to bag on Adam Levine. Now, if you don't know, Adam Levine's the lead singer of Maroon 5, a two-hit wonder, also judge on The Voice, and that's where he got a lot of his money. So a lot of his text messages have been leaked. Now, here's the deal. Earlier this week, it was revealed that he was having a year-long affair with a super hot Instagram model, right?
Mhm.
That wasn't that weird. I mean, it was immoral, but not that weird. Then it was revealed that he asked the chick he was banging if he could name his son after her, right? Her name is Summer. So he was
Sumner.
Sumner.
Sumner, which is a weird name.
I thought I read that wrong. Okay, so it is Sumner. So because I was like, that's weird for a boy name, Summer, but Sumner, still weird, but a little more masculine, but still very strange, right? You ask the chick that you're cheating on your wife with if you could name your son after her. That just come on. So yes, that's a big what moment. Well, since that happened, more women have come out saying, yeah, Adam Levine tried to fuck me too. I mean, this is a whole like Me Too situation.
He tried to name his kids after me too.
Yeah, exactly. And the funniest thing about this is this guy, he's got no game. He creeps and messages like a 14-year-old.
What a maroon.
Yeah, a lot of people have actually been roasting him on Twitter. In fact, Adam Levine drama is so boring, but finding out he sexed like a 17-year-old and hasn't ever fucked is funny.
He's Adam Levine. Like, just that alone should give him game.
Yeah, well, the problem is, see, this is what happens when you're super hot and you get this stuff handed to you. You don't work on your game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So he didn't develop game. He's had a great voice. He's had talent, and he's been good looking. So he didn't need game, right? Someone else tweeted, white men flirting is so funny. They'd be like, holy fuck, right? And I'm like, okay.
It's pretty.
Yeah. All right, so here's a real text message from Adam Levine. Check this out. I'll read it. It says, it is truly unreal how fucking hot you are. Like, it blows my mind. And then this chick wrote back like, I mean, I think the same. Seeing you in person was like, fucked. Or I'm fucked. And then he's like, you are 50 times hotter in person. And so am I. That's a genuine laugh though, but that's funny. And then he's like, I may need to see the booty. Fuck. Right. So that's
hell.
Yeah. So
I gotta go review all my old flirty sex and see how cringy they are. I'm like, yeah, Adam, I feel you, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it is tough to bag on this.
Yeah, no, if I saw something like that, like, I mean, I had when I was on Tinder, for men and stuff, like, when I saw that stuff, I'm like, and we're done. Like, come on, be a little creative.
Right. Yeah.
Why are you talking like a kid, like a teenager?
Here's another one. So if you guys follow the Rock 1 2.1 Facebook page, which I know most of you do, you might have seen this Photoshop, but this is the original one that Rico did a Photoshop of Adam Levine's text towards me. But this is the original DM that he slid in, right? Holy fucking fuck. Yeah. The body of yours is absurd. Yes. So that's pretty lame. But again, when you're hot and you're rich and you're talented, you don't need that much game. Okay. Let's see.
And the girl's like, is absurd good or bad?
Right.
I don't know.
Apparently you need game to not get caught, idiot.
Yeah, you maroon.
Well, he was doing this for a while and not get caught. And you made an excellent point off air earlier this morning saying, hey, there's a good chance that this guy's like in an open relationship. Just the world doesn't know about it. Like his wife might absolutely be cool with this.
Because she hasn't made a statement yet, has she?
No, and they were just photographed the other day smiling and laughing about something and waving to paparazzi. So they know the scandal's there.
Right.
And, you know, she's married with him. She's about to deliver her third kid with him.
She's a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah. And so, yeah, maybe they're just open freaks. Hey, they're like, hey, we're both incredibly good looking and we like having sex with other incredibly good looking people. This is not relatable to normal people.
Not at all. But a cheating scandal. Relatable.
I don't know why these guys don't go the hacking route and be like, oh, yeah, I was hacked.
Well, it's tough because so many people are hacking them. So here's another tweet, me versus the Hot Pocket I just made. It is truly unreal how fucking hot you are. Like, it blows my mind. So that's a screenshot.
The roof of my mouth.
Oh, the comedy that's going to come out from this.
Oh, it's already coming.
Great.
So the same text has the context printers in the 1990s be like, it's truly unreal how fucking hot you are. Like, it literally blows my mind. Same thing, me playing with my plutonium 22 core reactor when I accidentally drop a lead brick on it. Same thing. When I discover the corona of a supermassive black hole. I don't know. That's a nerd joke.
Yeah.
Goldilocks trying the first bowl of porridge. Holy fuck. It is truly unreal how fucking hot you are. Like, it blows my mind.
Truly unreal.
Let's see what else. Some other tweets that are
First
coming
sip
from
of coffee in the morning.
Yeah. Yes. So these photoshops have been amazing. And Rico posted one, like I said, on our Facebook page. So when you get a chance, we got 100% haha on it. Drop a haha if you can.
I would get so much more respect for him if he added his already absurd collection of tattoos he has. If he tattooed those texts on his body.
I'll tell you what he was smart about.
Bro.
I mean, so far he was smart about it, and what we haven't seen is a leaked dick pic. So he's been smart about not sending a dick pic to these random girls. These girls we've seen pictures of online. He definitely has a type. The type is, big fake asses, big fake tits, big fake lips. And, here's the thing with Adam Levine. He recently just said in an interview that there are no hot chicks that listen to metal. But I will say this. I've seen hot chicks that listen to metal, first off. Secondly,
I'm in the room.
Yeah, I know. Secondly, the chicks that he's into, they're not even really hot chicks, man. They're like plastic Barbie porn stars, which, I mean, it's fun. But, I mean, come on, dude. Well, that's why he didn't marry them. He's just banging them for fun on the side. Married the Victoria's Secret model that looks normal and hot. All right, let's talk about fleshlights.
Good lead-in.
Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I've been looking forward to this segment all morning long. Of like 12 hours because I like to hook up my friends. And I know that there's some of you out there that maybe have not had the love of a woman in a while. I get it. It's tough. Maybe if you're financially strapped, maybe you're just too busy working too many jobs. Maybe, you haven't found the right one, the person that's hot enough for you yet. And you got to resort to self-loving. Well, there's a lot of creative ways that you could self-love. Usually the sex toy industry was mainly focused on women for many, many years, creating all the dillies and the vibies and, all that stuff. It's only been really the last decade or so that a big boom of sex toys for men started happening. And the fleshlight is now common vernacular. Fleshlight's like a flashlight that you could bang. Amazing, right? It was probably invented in prison. Now, if you can't afford a fleshlight, I get it. The economy sucks, right?
Inflation is killer.
Yeah. You can make one at home. So I have the guide to do-it-yourself fleshlights. Here's 5 that you could do yourself so you can do yourself. Okay? First, and these are legit, the cornstarch fleshlight. Now, this started as an internet thing and gained a bit of steam in some circles. So the idea is that you pour cornstarch in a glass of water, you microwave it, Then you dig out a hole big enough for your unit, and then you nuke it again. And the amount of cornstarch could be trial and error process. You'll have to figure it out before you bang it. And then there's been reports of expressing concerns about comfort and durability, but you can still try to bang a cornstarch fleshlight.
Is that what Adam Levine was talking about? Like, holy F, you're so
hot.
absurd.
You're absurdly hot.
Absurd.
Oh, you obviously
microwaved
her for too long.
What if you have a corn allergy?
Yeah.
Well, then
Not
you would,
for you.
if you have a corn allergy, then you could try the sex or the sock fleshlight.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ugly yet functional. You'll need 3 pairs of socks, a couple of rubber bands, and a latex glove. So you place the glove in between 2 folded pairs of socks, then wrap the third around them all and secure it with a rubber band and then another rubber band around the top. And then squirt your favorite lube in the glove in the middle, and you're off to the races.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're first describing that, I thought it was like the sock was in the middle. I'm like, that's chafing, but never mind, it's the glove.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the sock is a finishing move for me for years. All right, number 3 for the do-it-yourself fleshlights. So, and I know some of you are taking notes, and that's good. The sponge fleshlight. So finally, a use for that empty Pringles can. So you stuff some sponges into the can, wrap a condom or latex glove around the top, and secure some rubber bands, lube it up, and have at it. So you got to keep in mind that the sponge quality is paramount here.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's big and pillowy, much like most vaginas. And
not the ones with like the hard surface, the ones that scrub.
No.
You want to,
Softer.
if you're going to do the scrub side, make sure that's on the outside
Other
of the
side.
can. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not on the inside that you'd be loving.
Good.
Unless you're into rough sex.
Maybe.
Okay. There's also the condom towel fleshlight. Toss a towel in the dryer for a few moments, get it nice and toasty. Then run it under some water to get it nice and moist. And then from there, put a rubber band around it, wrap the towel around your firm little soldier, lube it up in the condom, and then ba-boom. So the condom is key there to make it feel like, nothing. I mean, condom sex sucks, but condom sex with a towel is the same thing as condom sex with a woman. So there you go.
Towel burn is worse.
And finally, in our top 5 guide to do-it-yourself fleshlights, so you could do it to yourself, is the meat fleshlight. Now, I don't know about this one, but it is a suggestion. Sex is a flesh-on-flesh experience, right? So, theoretically, you could jump on that by using actual meat. Livers and chicken skin come highly recommended with this fleshlight, especially at room temperature just warmed up. Now, I just have a feeling that your self-love session is going to smell really bad. Now, another empty Pringles can might come in handy here, so to speak. But you have to make sure to wash thoroughly after you're finished because salmonella is no joke.
And for all you vegans, you can use Beyond Beef if you want.
Yeah. And how's it feel, weirdo, as a woman to be like, hey, yeah, your vagina is great, but if you ever like banged a pile of chicken skin, same difference.
Oh, you lost me like 5 minutes ago. I'm like, this is not a conversation for me.
No, it's a conversation for your boyfriend. Hey, all right, let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We're going to get weird with Weirdo if we weren't weird enough. YouTube.com/bevegan. All right, was it educational?
Did you ever bang a Pringles can full of liver skins? Didn't think so. You don't know me.
I mean,
what I've seen.
Most of these have like rubber bands. So my brain's like, is this like a rubber band company conspiracy theory? Like sales are down and they need to up them. And yeah.
You gotta keep things on their firm. You know what I mean? That's why the rubber bands.
I get it. Like, I don't know. It just feels like by the time you've done all this effort, you're probably not in the mood anymore.
No, trust me. If you're even thinking about putting in this much effort, you take the time and you're diligent with it.
Take another shot of Rumple Mints. You'll be fine.
Yeah. This is some desperate MacGyver incel shit. So yeah. In fact, actually, I was thinking, which I know that you and Powers won't do. And unfortunately, we don't have Austin anymore. Or if Austin was still here,
to test all these?
Yes, I would have him test all 5 of these and then come back with the Austin review of the fleshlight. And God damn you, Austin, for leaving LA. Because seriously, you're talking about radio gold. Oh, man. Especially the chicken skin one. Like, what?
That's god awful. It's like,
it just seems like it smells.
You just look at it. You're like, am I doing this?
Yeah.
It's like worse than a sex doll.
Yes, it is worse than a sex doll, but it's a lot cheaper too. So,
That's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, because depending on the quality of meat you got, it might be way more than $20.
Yeah, where'd you
Right.
get your fleshlight from? Wish.com?
Yeah. And did Austin and I make up? Not really, but I wish him the best. But the guys like flipped out on me for no reason, like several times. So I'm like, why even bother? All right. Earlier this morning we got Weird with Wierdo. In case you missed it, well, something like this. Now with new and improved graphics. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Every now and then we come across a story from our desk that is just too weird for myself to share. But we got to pass it to our resident weirdo. So let's get weird with Wierdo, shall we? Wierdo, what do you got for us this morning?
Well, Beef, would you go to a library's website more often if it was actually an adult sex toy website?
Adult sex toy website? What?
Mhm.
A library website that sells sex toys?
Yeah.
I don't buy toys too much, but in the podcast broadcast, I actually have 5 hacks for you to make homemade fleshlights. But do explain what is this library website doing selling sex toys?
Yeah, do they abide by the Dewey Decimal System?
Is that how you find it? Yeah.
So a Hampton, Virginia library had a major problem this week. After switching to a new web address, people who tried to type in their old URL end up being redirected to a website for Hampton Adult Toy Store.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Did the Hampton Adult Toy Store seize the opportunity and like buy the URL without them knowing?
I mean, we're not exactly sure.
There are 4
'cause
ways
this
you
is
can
about to have
play aces.
Another weird twist.
Okay. What's that?
So when you go to the old your URL, it does bill itself as the premier destination for all your adult toy needs.
Okay.
Talks about the toys available, including articles about how you can set sex dolls up in acrobatic sex positions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
So, but here comes the plot twist. Little disappointing. It looks like the sex shop actually doesn't exist.
Oh, it's not even a real sex
It's
shop.
not.
Dun, dun, dun.
Swindled.
Yeah. So there are no stores in or around the Hampton area named Hampton Adult Toy Store.
Wow.
There is a Facebook page by that name, but it hasn't been updated since last year.
Wow.
Yeah. A library rep says someone impersonated a city employee and transferred the old URL.
Wow. That is pretty clever and just a mischievous joke.
Yeah.
But the joke's on them. Nobody visits library websites, so I'm sure they're still not getting any clicks.
Right.
You'd be better off just just coming up with the Hampton Adult Sex Shop
Right.
URL and getting natural clicks that way. Oh, all
Yeah.
right. Well,
Do you want Hemingway and a butt plug? We got the place just.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And I want to play a game. So we're going to play Animal Sound Off right now. It's a tag team game. On line 1, we have Julia. Good morning, Julia.
Morning.
Good morning. She is on Team Rico. All right. And on line 2, we have Jessie. Good morning, Jessie.
Morning.
And she is on Team Weirdo. The object of the game is simple. Both Weirdo and Jessie have both Weirdo and Rico have 5 different animals that they're going to make sounds of. It's up to Jessie and Julia to guess their teammates' sounds, what the animal is. Whoever can get all 5 correct quicker will win tickets to the Black Keys October 10th at Auction Pavilion. Now, if they don't guess all 5 before 60 seconds runs out, then whoever scored the most amount of points first will win those tickets to the Black Keys. So I explained the rules off air. I think we're all set and good to go. We'll start off with line 1 and Julia and Rico. Are you ready, Julia?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. Rico, you may begin. Go.
Is that a hog?
Keep going, Rico.
Oh, a monkey.
Yes.
Correct. All right, 1 point.
A wolf.
Sure.
Correct.
Is he making sounds?
Yeah, he's making sounds. You got to do better with those sounds, Rico.
You taking a pee?
Ooh. Is this like a snake, maybe?
Yes.
Yes, that's 3 points. 12 seconds.
Oh, good.
Oh,
It's like a orangutan or something.
ran out of time.
Oh,
All right.
man, watch
so-
more zoo shows.
Yeah, so that last one was a walrus, correct?
Yes.
Yes, walrus was the answer you're looking for. All right, Julia, you got 3 points within 60 seconds. That's a admirable score. Hopefully, it will hold
Admirable.
up. Now
Admirable.
it's Jesse and Weirdo's turn. All right, so Weirdo's gonna do the animal sounds. Jesse, you have to guess them. You got 60 seconds on the clock. Try to guess as many as you can. Are you ready, Jesse?
Yeah, I am.
All right, good luck. And Weirdo, go.
Bzzz.
B.
Yes.
Correct.
Hog.
Correct.
Or
Correct.
pig.
Yes.
Cat.
Yes.
Oh.
Bird.
No.
Do it again, Weirdo.
Rooster.
Yes.
Correct.
Roof, 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 roof.
Dog.
Yes.
Oh, all 5 and done. All 5 in 42 seconds. Congratulations, Jesse. You just won yourself a pair of tickets to the Black Keys.
Oh, Rico's making
Thank
a
you.
pouty face.
Julia, since you were such a good, sorry, keep going. What were you saying, Julia?
I was saying I'm making a sad face too.
Oh, yeah. See,
I'll take you to Taco Bell.
Oh, that's very nice.
Forget
Actually,
'em.
Rico, you don't have to take Julia to a Taco Bell. That is very kind of you, but I think it goes against company policy.
Oh,
What
okay.
I can do for Julia, though, since you were such a good sport, I'm going to hook you up with a $50 gift certificate to Miller's Surplus. All right. So, Miller's Surplus, you get $50 courtesy of Miller's Surplus. Okay, Julia?
I'll take it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And then, Jesse, you and a friend are going to see the Black Keys for free. All right, we're back here live. I got to play the speed break real quick. 7 seconds. I forgot what we were talking about, but it's labeled balls, so we're just going to go with it.
On brand.
Yeah, on brand. Here we go. I was today years old when I learned that the jock strap was invented in 1874 to help bicycle jockeys as they make deliveries on cobblestone streets in Boston.
Checks out.
Yeah, imagine that job. And before the jock strap was made, you were just like essentially kicking yourself in the balls all day.
I wouldn't know what that feels like.
Not awesome. All right.
All
There
right.
you go.
Not
Yeah,
nice.
that wasn't that bad. All right, so we're back here, and of course, the animal sound off. Seeing it live definitely is fun. Seeing their faces that they're making while going live. All right, I want to show this real quick. Now, Rico, you ever play poker?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. So I haven't even watched this video yet. This is a TikTok, the 4 best ways to play aces.
Ooh.
Yeah, so let's learn something today, huh? So let's check this out. See what it says.
There are 4 ways you can play aces. 1, you can standard 3x raise.
Okay.
2, you can limp, try to trap people.
Okay.
3, you can jam all in, try to
Right.
get max value. And 4, you can fold because you know there's no chance they're actually going to end up holding up. That's how poker goes.
Okay.
There are 4 ways.
All right. So not as good as I thought it would be. I thought it was
some
good.
secret tips.
Yeah. There's no secret tip.
It's like you can be a pussy, you can be a manly man, or you can be this guy.
Right. What would you do when you have aces?
I would probably limp to lure people in.
Limp to lure people in.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Try to trap them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to do it. I still want to represent a strong hand when I have aces. And I know
Go
we're
all in?
losing. No, I will not go all in.
Mm.
I would only go in if so. Here's the scenario: I have aces, and I make the bet. I do a raise, standard 3-bet raise, right? So I raise it 3 times the blind, and then say you re-raise towards me. Now, if you re-raise, if you at least double to re-raise, then I'm going to go in over the top.
Mm.
Right? You have to at least double. But if you say 3-bet my 3-bet, you're saying that you probably have queens or kings. You're basically representing a very strong hand as well. But I know I have the strongest of hands. At the very least, we might be tied. But then I would press my luck and go all in, depending on that. Now, if you just call, depending on the flop, then there's a whole bunch of different scenarios there. That we're not going down that rabbit hole. But we should go play poker here soon.
It's been a while. I need
Yeah.
to. I miss it.
Dude, I love going to the casino and just doing those like low buy-in tournaments.
Mhm.
They're fantastic. And I know, I mean, if I wasn't working the hockey game this Sunday, I'd say let's do it this Sunday. But maybe next Sunday. You know?
I told you about my old roommate that used to wake up in college early in the morning, like 6 a.m., go to the casino and play poker.
Yeah.
Against all the old people.
Right. Yeah.
All their pension money and come back with like 2,000. I'm like, dude.
And this was Texas Hold'em, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that was what?
Huge
10, 15 years ago. Like it was, they had such
gigantic.
it was like on ESPN. Like my
Still
brother
is.
was super into it.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
You know, I was working casino entertainment parties when that boom happened, and I was doing the casino entertainment parties before the boom happened. So before it got popular, we only had 2 poker tables. They would go out like maybe twice a year, and then you would play all different types of games like 7-card stud and shit like that. And then World Series of Poker boom happened, and we couldn't make enough poker tables. Had over 60 at one point. We're doing all different types of tournaments, doing tournaments with all these like quote unquote quasi poker celebrities. And it was like every other day was a giant, massive poker tournament. And now it fizzled back down. But
there used to be like aisles of like poker chip sets you could buy for home and host your own parties and like do all that.
Yep. Yeah.
People buying Rounders on DVD again.
I think I only played twice.
It's a
during
great
that
movie.
time.
It's a great movie. Yeah. All right. 10 seconds. Get back on the air. Sometimes, you know, laws are there to protect you from yourself. That's pretty much the rundown from this story.
Please gamble responsibly.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. You know, sometimes there's laws that are created to not protect other people, but protect you from yourself. And Jason Holt, who's the heaviest man in all of Britain, doesn't realize this. Now, he's drawing a line in the sand when it comes to fizzy drinks. Now, at the age of 32, he tips the scale at roughly 658 pounds. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Has not seen his penis since 4 years old. Now, the help him get that way is his habit of downing 2 liters of soda every single day. Just like if you're asking yourself, how does somebody become 658 pounds? Essentially, drink 2 liters of soda like that. You're going to get there fast. All right.
Liquid sugar.
Now, however, Holt is under strict care of doctors who have limited him to half that much liquid daily, and none of it's soda. So instead of having 6 liters of soda, they're letting him have 3 liters of water. And he's not taking it lying down, even though
he's probably lying down.
Yeah, he probably can't stand up. He actually called the cops, and he calls it a violation of his human rights. Is this human right to try to kill himself? I mean, at this point. So he's saying that he should be able to drink what he wants, and he's threatening to call the cops. And if his issues with quote unquote dehydration aren't handled to his satisfaction.
Is he in a hospital?
Yes. He is.
Okay, got it.
Yes, and he's feeling dehydrated because he can only drink 3 liters of water. How much water do you drink a day, Rico?
A gallon at least.
Yeah, so that's not even 3 liters, and you're pretty hydrated, right?
Pretty hydrated.
Yeah,
but you
clear.
Don't weigh 600 pounds.
That's true.
There's that.
There is that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're only a third of him, so maybe you need to drink even more if you were
You're
bigger.
right. Thank you.
Yes, but
Science.
We shouldn't have to remind you that obviously soda is not going to get you hydrated. That's a fact. And, you know, this guy, again, they're only trying to help him out. And he's just like, nope. I'm death by Mountain Dew. That's the way I want to go.
Suicide.
Do the do, baby.
Yes. All right. So again, sometimes these rules are set in place to protect you from you. All right. We're going to hit the reset, keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast where you can join us at youtube.com/beefvegan. And we'll be back on the FM side with your beef tip after this. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
I could see that.
What's up?
I could see that being Mountain Dew's new thing. Like, you want to die by Mountain Dew? We'll take care of your family. Just do the do to the death.
Do the do to the death. I mean, that's clever. That's a catchy catchphrase. So I can see that.
Death by dew.
Death by the doo-doo. All right. So here is men be advised, ladies do not find these hobbies attractive. All right. So I got some examples of hobbies that women don't find attractive. Weirdo.
Golf.
Yeah. You don't
Immediately.
find, you know, that's funny though. I would think that some women find that hobby attractive because 2 things. One, and first and foremost, it's a status symbol, right?
Affluence.
So say if you're dating somebody and they're like, yeah, I go golfing every weekend. Immediately what they're saying is, I have enough money to go golfing every weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I figured status of douchebag.
Yes. And that's right. But see, you're not going after people for their money, obviously.
No.
All right. And then 2, they're somewhat active. I mean, it's a game. And
Sure.
it's kind of a sport, but
I sweat at Top Golf.
Yeah, Top Golf.
Yeah.
Because it's 110 in Tucson.
Yeah,
That's why.
whatever.
Right. What would you say your hobby is, Rico? Just content creating?
Hobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, gym, filming, writing, creating,
Oh,
hiking.
this guy's trying to be the sexiest
Fishing.
fucking guy on the planet.
What?
You hear him, weirdo? He's just naming all the things. His little splooshes.
You asked.
Well, you didn't have to name all of them. I can only get so hard. All right.
That's what that is. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
The
So
desk moved. It was weird.
yeah. One woman wrote, I once asked the guy what his favorite hobby was on our first date. His answer was dating. So
Yeah, it's probably a red flag.
wrong answer. Yeah. Let's see. Here's another one. Sports fan, the kind that screams at the TV. And can't miss watching a game.
That's my boyfriend. It's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's not a put off for you?
No.
All right. Let's see.
He screams at commercials. Then we have something to worry
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Right. We're looking at hobbies that women find unattractive. They say gambling.
Yeah.
There are degenerate gamblers for sure. That would definitely got to be a put off on that. People that gamble do spend a lot of time in the casinos.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, like every once in a while, if it's a fun thing every couple months, fine, have a night, whatever. But if you're going weekly or like habitually, then yeah, that's probably a problem.
Yeah, you could be right on that. All right, let's see what else we got here on this list. As much as I like anime and manga, I will admit if I meet a guy and in their public space in their home, they show their hentai posters and figures, I'll be a little worried. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Vaping, shit. Okay. All right. Moving forward quickly.
Well,
Genuinely enjoying and worshiping alpha male podcasts. Oh.
someone sounds intimidated.
And all right, so that was the final one.
Yeah. Listening to Joe Rogan is not a personality
Yeah,
trait.
babe, go listen to The View instead. It turns me on. Yeah.
I listen to both Joe Rogan and The View at the same time. And that way I get a good perspective of both. I'm very well balanced. All right. Earlier this morning, of course, we did our morning moron. In case you missed it, it went a little something like this. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. It's 6:15 and time for your morning moron. Let's do it. Ooh, sometimes the elements get in the way to nab a stupid criminal really help out the police. And this is what happened in Seattle. Let me break it down for you. Because it kind of seems like one of those old cartoons where the bad guy tries to run but gets caught in quicksand. Right? A woman recently stole a Mini Cooper in the Seattle area, and she blew through some barricades to try to get away. Now, the Mini Cooper, that's kind of like a fast golf cart, right? You could probably squeeze through some alleys, and if you're kind of quick and clever enough and a good enough driver, you could probably evade the police.
You watched The Italian Job. You got it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's from The Italian Job. I knew I saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, the roadblock was there for a reason, and that reason was because the crew was pouring fresh cement. Yes. And the car, once driving into the fresh cement, immediately got stuck in it. And we're not talking about a couple inches of sidewalk cement. It looks to be about like a foot deep. So she drove this Mini Cooper right into a cement pond, if you will. Oof. All right. Now, after getting stuck, the driver threw a TV, an Instant Pot, and a half bottle of whiskey, of course, half, because she drank the first half, out of the car before trying to leave the scene. She got out and tried to run away with her 4-year-old son.
Oh, my. Really?
Oh, man. Yeah, I bet you this woman is smoking hot, but crazy as hell. Now, someone called 911. Police caught and arrested the driver for driving under the influence, domestic violence, theft, and, a whole bunch of stuff. It was very easy to catch her, though, because, she had cement shoes. And they could just follow the trail until she just couldn't move anymore, just stuck. So the Mini Cooper got stuck, and I'll show you guys how deep on the podcast broadcast stream here. If you look at this, look how deep that Mini Cooper is.
Yeah, that was not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. In fact, actually, I don't think crews could even get it out. They're just like, F it. Now we got ourselves a new landmark.
Right.
Yeah, the Mini Coop statue. So
that's hilarious. It's like, what are the chances you're in a getaway and then there's like a cement trap
Yeah.
I'm like,
She didn't see that coming.
at that point, you just give up.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why she threw out the TV or the bottle of whiskey.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I didn't understand. Like, why start throwing things? Start
Right.
running.
Yeah. Well, this is Morning Moron, so
That is true.
it does kind of fit the brand. So, recap: stealing Mini Cooper, driving it into a cement pond, getting stuck, throwing out a bunch of stuff, and then getting caught by the cops definitely makes you a Morning Moron. All right, welcome back to the podcast broadcast. Oh, it's something smoking in here.
There's Snoop.
So weird.
Something's on fire. We gotta go.
I know. We're almost done here. There are a couple top stories that we didn't get to this morning. First and foremost, we talked about the GTA 6 leak that happened on Twitter last weekend, which is fantastic. In the least gangster move possible, Rockstar is now collaborating with the FBI to find out who hacked them and leaked all this stuff on Grand Theft Auto 6. So
Russia.
yeah. Yeah, I know. It's not a good
Stay
look.
on brand. Like, lean into it.
Exactly. And all it did was, again, like really get people excited about this game whenever they release it in like 3 lifetimes from now.
Right.
So
Yeah, isn't it been proven like anytime a leak happens, it does put more, but it ends up being a positive result.
I would think so. Yeah. I know that I was more geeked about it, and I even went online to play GTA 5 later that day because I was like, oh, I need a GTA fix now.
Yeah.
But yeah, some inside the gaming community have been amused by the hack and even celebrated it. However, the reality is that the hacker has made the lives of the developers involved, quote unquote, a living hell. And this situation is going to end up delaying. The release of the game even longer. Okay, well then fuck that guy.
I could wait another 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. All right. There was sorry.
Like a frustrated teenager.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
All I want to do is play video games, man. I know. Polaroid's new jam is music. So the Polaroid company is now getting into Bluetooth speakers. Yeah, something that
Okay.
and they look kind of cool, and it's Polaroid branded. It'd be a lot cooler if the Bluetooth speaker actually took pictures. Remember what they used to do?
If you're just dancing around in your underwear like an idiot.
Yeah. Looks like Tommy Lee has officially launched his OnlyFans account. It's real. Yeah, he's gonna be on OnlyFans, but I mean, if you want to see his dick for free, just follow him on Twitter and wait for him to get drunk.
Right.
Because that's gonna happen.
You want to see more? They're like, no, we saw everything.
Yeah.
25 years later of him not making money off his own sex tape, he gets an
Right.
OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
True. Speaking of Tommy Lee and Molly Crew, their current tour with Def Leppard has sold $173 million in tickets. That's a shit ton. Of money there. So, they're celebrating and saying that rock and roll isn't dead. It just, over the age of 50 with saggy tits.
It just goes to bed at 9 p.m. now.
Yeah. And finally, there's 2 things I'll touch on, but Space Force just unveiled an official song, and their song is super cringy. Actually, I'll play that tomorrow morning. It's called Semper Supra. But we're going to wrap things up with a beef tip. So thank you guys for checking out the stream. As always, subscribe and all that good shit, right?
Right.
You know.
Like, sharing,
Rock
comment.
102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. That's all the time we have for the show, unfortunately. But we've had a lot of fun, and I hope you had fun listening as well. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue to give away tickets for the Black Keys, Dirty Honey and Dorothy, and we'll have tickets to give away for the NHL's game this Sunday, the Arizona Coyotes versus the Anaheim Ducks. It's going to be a big deal. NHL hockey is happening at the TCC this Sunday. So get your tickets if you don't want to win them. TucsonRoadrunners.com. All right, now it's time for your beef tip. Now, there was a rumor online that you could eat your own Crocs in a survival situation. This turns out not to be true. In fact, actually, a Vice reporter looked into it. The short answer is no. Yes, Crocs are non-toxic, but that doesn't mean they're edible. And even if you could digest them, there's no nutritional value. So if you are in a survival situation, what do? Well, my beef tip for you is to make sure the clothes you wear are edible and nutritious. I'll give you an example. I actually lace up my shoes with licorice. And that way, if I ever get stuck in the elevator for too long, I can just eat my shoelaces. It's delicious. So there's so many other things. In fact, you could rock edible underwear every single day. And if you're not in a survival situation, throw them away. And sure, you'll have sticky balls. But if you are in a survival situation, you could eat those and then free ball until help arrives. So that's my beef tip to you.
This is why we have ants in the studio, Beef.
Well, say it now, but if this store don't open on the way out, you're going to want to eat my shorts.
Oh, my God.
All right, and that's your beef tip. Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. You like that Simpsons joke? Huh?
I'm trying to figure out how to kill myself with something in here. I'm like, I gotta go.
Will come and end to all your
Thanks,
grief.
guys.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
Later days.